Teachers, it's Dr. Jen Miller again. I've been receiving a lot of questions on how do we align our district standards with our assignments and our grades. So I'm going to walk you through this process really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and log on to Clever, and then you're going to see a Canvas button, of course, so I'm going to log into my Canvas. And then let me go to my courses. So I'm just going to work out of my Sandbox course because that's where I've loaded everything. So what we're doing on the district side, so you should expect to see this within the next week, is we are going to upload all of the district standards, and on Canvas they're called outcomes. So if you click on outcomes, you can see I've already loaded in some of the outcomes. You will just have to click on find, and then you'll be able to access all of the Tulsa Public Schools standards when those are uploaded early next week. For now, I've already uploaded mine, so I'm going to click on, let's say, the grade 6 standards, or science and engineering. Those are the ones I have loaded. So if I look at the science and engineering practices, which are encompassed in every course for Unit 0, I'm just going to be able to click on one and I can see what it is. So it tells me what exactly the science and engineering practice is, and built into this is the grading for understanding rubric. So it has the levels of understanding in there, and you'll see that everything is out of 10 points. That is on purpose because every standard, I've just weighted them equally because we shouldn't weight one over the other. So every standard is going to be worth 10 points. That's arbitrary, but it is easy to work with and it's consistent. So you can actually click through and you'll see all of these. This is where you'll upload all of those outcomes using that find button. So after you've identified, let's say, your grade 6 or your chemistry standards, they'll be available 6 through 8 science and for all the high school science courses. If you teach a blended course, let's say anatomy and physiology, where you might use standards out of 2 different courses, you'll just need to find both of those courses and add them in. Most of those would come out of biology, but you can access standards from more than just one section. Once we have our outcomes, we're going to go up and we're just going to practice creating an assignment. So let's just say now I'm going to create an assignment. I'll just create another one here. And let's say a lot of us did that flower lab if you're 6 through 8, so I'm just going to create another version because that's easy. So let's say flower lab, and we're going to call it part 1. So put in all your instructions. I know that for the flower lab, when I looked at my pacing guide, that I had 2 standards that were going to be assessed there. So I know that for my total points, I can just put in 20 because I'm going to assess 2 standards and each of them are worth 10 points. So that's pretty simple. So here, it doesn't really matter. We're going to come down here and let's say I want an online submission, and I'm going to let kids enter a text, or I'm going to let them do a website URL, whatever you need. Unlimited attempts, and then we just have to set a due date just so we can get to the next step. So let's say I say September 17th. Okay, of course you can fill in the rest of the fields as you need. So I'm going to save this. After I hit save, I'm going to see the option to add in a rubric. So what I would like you to do is click on rubric, and then you'll see all these things that you're supposed to fill in. Nope, you don't need to do that. So just hit the trash can. Done. Get rid of it. And you want to find the outcome. So on your outcome, remember I was using the Science Engineering Practices 1, so I want to include that one, and then there will be an option down here to import it. And here you see it pops up for this flower lab part 1, it pops up this grading rubric. But I also need the second one, so I'm going to go ahead and find my outcome, the second one, and then I'm going to go ahead and import that one as well. So now once I have these things imported, so I know each of these are worth 10 points, my total assignment is worth 20 points, that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click Create Rubric. So once I've created the rubric, now all I have to do is publish this assignment if I'm ready for students to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and publish it. And then what I can do is I'm going to pretend like I'm a student so you can see on the student end what happens. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to access my student view. So now if I go here, I'm going to see, oh, I need to do Flower Lab Part 1, or I can go to assignments, and I know that I'm going to have an assignment there that I need to complete. So we assigned Flower Lab Part 1. Let's just click on that. And now, of course, yours would have content here for the assignment. But here is the rubric that students will see. So students will understand what they're doing, and then if they click on this view longer description, it tells them exactly what that standard is. So they know what they're being asked to do and what you're looking for, which is great. So you can click on both of those, students can see, and they know exactly what they're going to be graded on. So let's just say that I've done the thing, I'm a kid, I'm gonna submit this assignment, and as my student, let's just say I put in a text entry, let's just say yay. I don't think that will get me full credit, but that's fine. So let's just go ahead and submit our assignment. Okay, so yay, I did that. Let's go ahead and leave student view and go back to your gradebook. So leave student view. So now I can go to my speed grader and I can look at what assignments I need to grade. So I'm going to click on speed grader. And now I want to view the rubric. So viewing the rubric, this thing is amazing. So let's say that I'm looking at my rubric. I'm going to make this side bigger. And this student only wrote yay. So you have shown no understanding of this or this. And notice that when you click on the rubric, it automatically fills in the point value for that. So you'll see that they got 5. So no understanding for SEP1 and no understanding for SEP2. So total points is 10 out of 20. So this student failed this assessment because they actually didn't submit anything. So as we go up here, we can click save because we want to save that grade, and we say out of 20. We go down here and this student had 10 points out of 20. All right, so now remember we want to always leave feedback for the students. So as we're leaving feedback, there are some really amazing ways to do this. So let's say I click on the speech recognition. And let's hit record. Hey Jen, it looks like you didn't submit anything. Can you please try that again? Bam, so it's automatically loaded in there. And let's say maybe instead I want to do a media comment. You can also attach a file. That just seems like more work to me, so I probably wouldn't do that. So let's say I leave a media comment. So you open that up. Oh, look, there I am. And let's hit start recording. Hey, I think there was an issue with your file. I only received a document that says yay. If you want to complete this assignment and resubmit it before the due date, I'm happy to replace that grade for you. Okay, and then we can just hit save. And so it's uploaded my comment that I left, and it's uploaded my media file. So that's just an amazing way to leave students quick feedback without having to type it all out. And then just hit submit. So once we hit submit, we're going to go out of our student view. Let's hope that submit works. Okay, we're going to go out of our student view, and I'm going to go back to our grade view. So now, let's say I have this student, right? I just submitted this assignment, and I'm looking at this master review, right? So if you go to your gradebook, you have the option to look at just your gradebook, right? That's probably what you're going to be seeing. So you can see out of this Flower Lab Part 1, this student got a 10 out of 20, right? So that would be a 50% for the course because they showed no understanding of those content standards. But now you're like, okay, that's just a score. How do I know if my students are mastering the content or not? That's where it's going to be important to look at learning mastery. So we're going to update these as well to match our district ones, right? No understanding, rudimentary, progressing, proficient, and mastery. But right now I can see that with one assignment, this student is sitting at a no understanding, right? So you can see they've already been updated here. Mastery is set at 10. So right now I can see that my student has no understanding. But let's say that they resubmit this and they get a higher score. You can see the colors change. So you can see that their growth is happening over time. And that would be like, oh, I need to actually replace that grade because this student has grown. And so maybe I need to either mute that grade or bump it because now they've shown a higher level of understanding over time. So that's a great way to do the learning mastery. It looks like the district's already working on upgrading that to match our district expectations, because when I clicked on that box, it showed me all of our different levels. So that is great. You can see the mastery, proficient, progressing, rudimentary, and no understanding. So that's great. So we can see right now our student is in the red, and as they progress, their colors will start to change, and you'll be able to see that they're actually making progress throughout the course. So that's kind of an amazing factor to see on this, and you can track all of their standards here and compare that with your grade book. So I hope that this helps. So now it helps us align all of our assignments with a standard, and we can actually let our students see their growth and progress as well as teachers on our end seeing growth and progress. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, you know the email address. Have a great weekend.